Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever we are in the world. This is Mohammed Shilan coming to you from North Carolina, USA, and with my co-host, Mr. Victor Mengot. We will come to you from the county of Surrey, England. And this is now Sunday, October 29th. So we get certain topics then we want to touch on, topics of national interest, and we hope we'll get, as usual, interesting listeners and participants then. We go probably get good questions then for raise or suggestions for make or criticism or disagreement, whatever it may be. We'll get basic rules where I'm sure we regular listeners them are very much aware of. It's a simple rule. Now make I say basic. The rule is a rule of mutual respect. Callers call in, respect the host, respect fellow callers. We not say not disagree, but disagree respectfully, and not become begin to make insulting or derogatory. The American pronunciation are derogatory, but English we will say derogatory and statements against the other person. Just disagree with somebody respectfully, state your own position, because we always welcome ideas. We all not get to see things the same way, because we on purpose for this show, we've always, I know there are some people who don't get tolerance for disagreements, then they liken or then they compare disagreements to criticism. And there are some people who even say, if the party in power and the party we then support, you should never disagree with the party in power, regardless. You should never even come up with ideas where you go improve situation. Because anything where you comment spot will involve improving the circumstance or the current situation, then take them in the form of criticism. And even if the criticism is justified or the suggestion is justified, people are just not interested. So we always remind people and for say this we on show, it's a show of national interest, not to party interest. The parties they don't mean anything to we. Although the current political structure requires a political party for being in power, but again, we can ignore the history of a political party with two major political parties, then all we want. But anyway, if we keep defending them, then we deserve the kind of government we would get. We're not for complaint. So whether you're in APC or you're in SLPP, if you think these parties have been wonderful, they've done wonderful things, then we're not going to for complain about. Just, roll with the punches, because they can do no wrong. But for we get the national interest, we can see wrong and we call them wrong. I think we get a lot for say, but we don't want to let people misunderstand that. We not get anything against any particular political party, other than we know say they can do better. And that said, today's topic will be centered. The main topic will be centered around transportation and some new buses then when they come for the Western area. So lucky for we get the co-host is an expert on transportation. So he get a lot for tell we. My only disappointment with the issue with the suggestion about the buses coming, he seems to be the kind of man. Well, I'm not advocating a job position for him, but it would have been nice if we want to see improvements, make him become the CEO, at least for 2-3 years, and put policies in place. But I'm not sure that's what's going to happen, because everybody will lick their chops for get their union out of the whole process. So we'll see how that goes. But my co-host is the best Sierra Leone can introduce these new buses the way they come in the operation. So, but I'll let him speak for himself. He's a very able man. He needs no advocate in that respect, and in any respect when it comes to governmental affairs. So now let me go to we numbers them. We're supposed for call in case they abroad or in case you they within the United States. Now we'll start off with North America, Canada, Mexico, United States. We'll get a toll-free number for them. For anybody who listen to a show, we want for call, free of charge. So you can call 866-944-7722. 866-944-7722. If you are calling from the UK, you can call +44 2080 891455. +44 2080 891455. If you're calling from Australia, you can call +61 2909 84337. Again, +61 2909 84337. And first, of course, we have a WhatsApp number that allows everyone to call from anywhere in the world, including the US. You can call 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. And last but not least, we get a radio station which now operates within the city of Freetown, but on the eastern end of Freetown. So if you are in the western part of Freetown or in the western area, you may not be able to catch them. So, but there will come a time very soon that the frequency will be available to everybody in the western area, maybe the entire country. So, with that said, one last thing, we are carried on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So when I be able for see we transmission or we program also in case we need to keep up and watch what we do. That said, let me go back to Mr. Mengot, the co-host, for just introducing himself, and we'll move on. Oh, there's one other topic besides the transportation topic. We are going to just comment briefly about the ARISE agreement and disagreement with the government of Sierra Leone. So ARISE, that the company, we're going to some kind of contractual agreement with the government of Sierra Leone for operate train service, passenger train service, between Putloko and Tonkolele district. I think maybe passing through Bombali also. But so there is some type of disagreement taking place between the government and the company. We will comment on that. And that will be the first topic. That said, back to you, Mr. Mengot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shillon. Fambulem, in a good evening, good afternoon, or whatever you might say. Me, they come to you now from the county of Surrey in the southeast of England, and for come bring some good news, because all tend not to do before they talk about. As we know, transport now very important, and 90% or 95% of now by road transport. And when my co-host introduced, I will say thank you for him, because they say, well, I'm one of the person for Ford. But I will tell them, I say, well, I've been involved in it. I've been involved in driving it forward because it's a World Bank project. We started as far back as 2017. And I was one of the consultants for craft it together. And now I've moved on the other side now for develop the private sector. When I'm in private sector, because the people the way they run Pura and buses for make sure so we get a safe and efficient transport system in the country. And also the way we approach them, we get one or two people in the diaspora, we go and invest in transport. So I know say they go need, because in the past, a lot of people they can buy taxi or they buy Pura, say last send and go Tongo, give me brother for run. So you want to get the money for bills. Well, I can tell you, I say 70% of them venture they fail. But you can still involve in them, but now in a more formalized environment. So a lot of talk about these transports. There are lots of questions. I know one of we presenters been not talk about that. He say I can't get a green light. So are they here today for a lot of talk about the challenges the opportunities, and also some of the concerns when I go get about this new system we will bring. So that is my introductory bit. So as my co-host been said, the first part, and I remember so we been talk about this Arise IIP. Arise have been the company where come where they do the industrial development in the Koya region, the special industrial zone, where we been not say government be not give them the opportunity for let them run the port and run passenger transport. They may not even tell we say they don't order coaches them for trains. But as usual, as we can say, we ask some questions now previous program on this. Say whether they may not do a demand analysis, whether you get stations them, whether they want to put extra line. So I think say waiting to happen now, they will question, they will warranted. So let's start with the video where one of somebody in Sierra Leone, where they're involved in the system, sometimes controversially, but at times shooting straight from the hips. Dr. Sylvia Blyden, what he been here for say about this. They will go comment on that. We'll give your own part before we go to the main topic. Over to our control room, let them play a Fambul Diary.
All people like Sylvia Olanka Blyden, then go tell una they say that press conference now one of the worst press conference where any government don't ever conduct na the history of Sierra Leone. 4 senior cabinet ministers went to make a mockery of the government of Sierra Leone. Because na mock them go mock themselves. You they can't talk, say you the Minister of Mines, gross immaturity. For come and tell we say President Julius Maada Bio in cabinet in January this year, then sign agreement for manage with railway with an entity we not even sabi for run toys train na table. Hey! What immaturity is this? What can be worse of a self-mockery than this? Come on. Now the sycophants in into Boku, they no one tell you not true. You they can't say I'm pro-Arise. Yes, I am pro-Arise because for now, when I look the contract with inside with pro-Arise and how it for dovetail into the SI zone, it makes a lot of sense to me. That's all. It makes a lot of sense to me. But for me, una can't tell we now say this contract will una sign in January. Hey, this contract will una sign where the waitman and come and then talk now the presence of the president, international bankers, financiers, and a galaxy of Potloko people say that this special investment zone it go work only if it dovetail into the railway. And then you guys come today and you call a press conference and you say some of what you said today. You did not know this in January when you put pen to paper. The sycophancy na imboku, they no one tell you na true. The sycophancy too much. But today was an embarrassment. The entire press conference, 4 senior cabinet ministers. Now una self una go mock. Una go mock una self because now una sign contract. Nobody no put gun down her head, say sign contract. No, you signed the contract voluntarily. You invited the people voluntarily. How now all of a sudden the contract where you sign, you want us the citizens for look you now say that contract where you sign now with person where toys train self in not be run, but you sign contract with and say like can manage all we train railway assets. Hey. Bo, una not look funny. Una funny. Funny. Very, very funny. What a mess.
Gina a background to which Madam Sylvia Blyden they talk about. And also, also before we comment on this, say we would not describe this situation in the way she described it using the words she used. We want to talk more about the substance. If you can remind you now, the port of Pepel and this rail line will connect from Pepel to Tonkolili mines, when I did them in the mine iron ore with Kingo Mining. That facility there, government now take loan. And we know how the constitution say when government they take loan, parliament get for approval. So for 20 years, we don't pay that loan there, when a 1.2 billion. And the government be now decide for list them facilities then they to Kingo Mining for move the iron ore to Pepel. That was how it started. But then more recently, we get this Arise IIP, when a company where then they operate on the other side in Africa, I think Gabon, Ivory Coast. Remember, say President been go Gabon at one time for go look at this special industrial zone. Then the Arise people, they also been take with journalists and go see inside the operation there. But as Madam Blyden say, the whole idea was that you go link this Arise and special industrial zone where they have create factory them to a railway system. We go help them for even export them the produce and also bring a passenger service. So we ask them question and they then sign the contract. And the Kingo Mining, they not be happy with that. So we hear say coincidentally, we hear say the minister who been there at the time as Minister of Mines, now I know China now, and you know say China get big interest. So all of a sudden, we get a recent press conference where they say, well, then they reverse the agreement there, where they get with Arise IIP, because they find out, say, Arise IIP not competent enough for operating train service. But then tell we about railway and passenger, and they not been do study. So the thing that I want to talk about, let me co-host talk about. Now, one, how we enter into this agreement, the legal basis, because the parliament say if we go for loan, then they parliament get for discuss and approve first before we sign the contract. And two, how in January we sign a contract, then all of a sudden we go sign the contract, check the competence of that company for do what you know and do. Because then can't for open factory there. But now with the say government remove the contract for run the rail and the port because they not get the competence. So that left me co-host, let's discuss that. Let Rob Mott explore the legal implications, which we call reputational risk given for the government, and also the way forward. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mengot. Yeah, the reputational risk we Mr. Mengot referred to, we just get to apply some common sense now. Like again, as Mr. Mengot say, we not necessarily get for use any hard adjective or words them for criticize the competence of the people who go sign the list. But you see, you wonder sometimes there are certain things where if over the talk about reputational risk, we'll therefore talk about competence. Because when you go into an agreement on the part of the government, you get for look beyond the agreements they wanted to go into, the government to go into, with even private enterprise of any nature, whether a local private enterprise or an international organization. Because how we handle WeSafe, now that go lead to that organization, they tell in other organizations them abroad that Sierra Leone is a good place for invest. Some of the things they want to take into account, where then with the complaint we want to get good reward for them chinende. Then with the full WeSafe by giving awards to ministers and heads of state and say the best this, the best that. We don't need all the award then there because if we are so best, we go no. We keep up with all the African leaders then. We see what they're doing in the country. So what goes around. So now if the word go out, they say, Sierra Leone, number one, you can't rely on a judicial system. So why will you then go tell another foreign investor? Why will you want to invest in Sierra Leone? If somebody hold you underwater, you not get strong enough judicial institution will go stand up, particularly when I say somebody, I mean like the government. If the government hold you underwater, you not get strong judicial system will go stand up to the government. Where you, the investor, go think, say, what the risk for put your money in a salon, because every side where you to go, one strong institution, even for ordinary people, even for citizens. Now forget a judicial system who we all trust, who we all respect, who we all confident in that and justice will usually be the outcome. And I'm surprised at the lawyers, because the lawyers and for the push this policy, they're gonna then go get more business, because every company will come in town and go want to get competent lawyers then for engage in legal representation, and then the government will get competent lawyers and will go engage in legal representation and so on and so forth. Now, we ministers them for whatever reason, like when Mr. Mengot say, we already get an existing agreement, it appears, with the Chinese company, mining. Then all of a sudden, then we don't sign with Arise. As Ms. Blyden say, Arise not get a reputation for run train or make train. Then all of a sudden, now, this and then we don't go into agreement with them for start operating passenger train, and then this goods train, we can call them back home, GODS, goods train, now we will say merchandise. So now, all of a sudden, when the thing for going to effect, Sierra Leone government will just sign an agreement with Arise. And bear in mind now, these are people that would have put the money, they apparently don't invest in this train issue. What government don't agree, say, yeah, we'll allow them for operate train, another corridor day, or another area day. Then all of a sudden, the government come back, say, well, we're not the government, we're not the comply, we're not the go with our agreements there, because we just find out, say, we will not get the competence needed to run a train system or passenger train system. Well, shouldn't this have been waiting we government for that do first, then for that do the feasibility studies? As I always say, we never assign the right people in the right places. And that's why we always come up with that kind of a result here. So now, think of the reputation of the country. Will Arise encourage other foreign investors, or even Arise themselves, since they're in other countries? Will they even want to invest in other things in our country? When they're not going to trust with judicial system, and can't trust with government, that we can signing something don't mean anything. So these are the things. Then we say we want people, we want to give employment to the youth, but they're all interconnected. So if the companies will not get the ability for build industries for ourselves and employ people, when we get foreign investors the way they come, with the water down, with the dilute the legal system, we're not going to protect them. Then with governments, I think last week I said this, or week before, the very people that wait for uphold the law, now then disobey the law, the government. Every law passed in our country, if parliamentarians them, for example, the course they always talk, say bills, their agreement here, their international agreement here, for first be looked into by parliament, approved by parliament before government sign. But what we do, parliament on their own, then decide say, well, that no matter, just not law on the book. We can override that. So when I go ahead, sign, then we can just agree, say everything is okay. So now we know they obey the law, the officials them. then we expect the citizens them. The first set of people already broke the law in a saloon. Now they want them at the powerful positions because they're not getting no intention for make sure the legal system works. And when it doesn't work, when we apply, youth, then what they talk about youth and employment, it will continue because we'll not get any concrete, constructive policy for put in place for bring respectable and serious investors then for keep for create employment in the country. So this is where to go with Arise. Whether Miss Sylvia Blyden support them or and not support them, I end up giving a reason why in say in agree with them. But think about the harm we will cause. And obviously, if Arise don't invest money, a large amount of money, they will go to court. And then we end up now some international tribunal, because there are international tribunals there, under in the World Trade Organization, we could deal with them matters here. In fact, there was one that went on for years under President Bio, where I think now has been solved, where they say the Kuruma government was involved in something, then Bio government come and condemn it. We have to stop then think the day. We really get for start appointing serious people then, people that we know what they do. So when they commit the government should be should in good spirit and in good faith comply and with whatever has been signed in the name of the government. We cannot just use this governmental power for say when a government we can rescind or cancel any contract. Contract not to work that way. There. You cannot rescind it. Now I made and get the international courts there, and I made and get the international organization. So if the government back out of this deal, that will not be the last they have heard of Arise. The only sad part about it, again, the Australian, will cost the minister them a dime, a penny, where they pull the government out of this contract, but it will cost the country, the loss. Because so now that reputation they will try for work hard for maintain, for encourage other foreign investors them for come build more industries, so we in turn go able for hire people, particularly the youth. But unless we do that, we are not going to make any gainful progress at all because this just doesn't make any sense. So back to you, Mr. Mengot.
Well, thank you very much. We just allow Rob Motspandan this small, because the part of it, when this they be announced, we Arise them, not show we pictures, say they don't go by there and coach them with a passenger coach. I think say 6 coach them from Japan, wait for there and then wait for camp. So the key question is, what's in the day? And secondly, whether we country seriously worry into this railway. So if they don't stop the contract to Arise, this railway system will get at the north be expanded because the last year we've been talking about them and now for expanding. But then let's bring it back to we main topic today where I think say a lot of people then go on Yeribot. Because one of we present talk about this transport. And today, one Rob Moll for Leo telling her waiting all day about how he started, and also how people then benefit. One say I have been in on this project since the beginning, and I because it's been linked to the railway. Because waiting to link to the railway, in 1964, the Act will create the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation. That corporation there, as we all know, now for road-based transport. Because in our country, most of the transport where they move people there by road. During that rail, where the rail system been they move both passenger and goods. Although mostly now been goods who been the look at, because then tell them we get tea, cocoa, other consumables, what we say like domestic vegetable. The rail be not going to decline. So we look at act of payment. Without corruption, main responsibility. One, now for provide public transport them for intercity, as we did free tongue. Number two, then for regulate. No, not be get beaucoup put them like now. In fact, if we remember, we get seen that we been go upline, we get them we call milk kilo. They been get some Frenchman go say Renault, we go say Renault. And then we get a few taxi service then and then I be for bluff man. I should say host go tell you say then 10 and then you go then host the was you send somebody for like go call taxi for you. The taxi they can't sit on at the much wait for you. Say you was then in a higher. So now we so road transport start for come up. We get them buses then there from 64. Then we know say 1967 election, we get change of government. You know, a new government come inside. First, we get military government. Then later on, states, APC in government. And that's when we've been talk about how for wound down the railway. So if we not get railway transport, now road transport. There's been a big argument, an article where Shekli said decision was already made for law close the railway. But most people tell you say, now Sheikh Stevens can close the railway, but then not to that we go for talk here. We can't talk how develop when a road-based transport. So we get this road transportation when there's some of them in Gideon. Now they define the routes the way the bus then they run. Now they all in the fares. And they also advise government on their own transport the way they buy. Well, we get road transport department again when they're done and they do like maintenance. So now we get how public transport become. But then in 2003 now, that road transport department we will get an act which creates that, then change them from road transport department to Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority. And again, I want let me co-host go comment here because when Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority, then give themselves the responsibility for regulate road passenger transport. So now two is them where they regulate transport. And one of them, now the Road Transport Corporation, they're not only regulate, but they operate. Because Freetown, we get them Peninsula service, we get numbered buses them, we get double-decker bus them, when they go school with them, Freetown, you get a bus voucher, for ride you bus them. So I'll let me co-host Kainsai because he go able to ask me the question as the expert. Why don't talk about this? And one of the things I want to talk now we get this two organizations here where they regulate transport and waiting at the problem where you go envisage from a point of view.
Well, in that respect, I wish I can able for elaborate on why the overlapping responsibilities as far as regulation is concerned. You know, first we get the Road Transport Corporation, Road Transport Department, Road Transport Authority. You just wonder what could have been going through the minds of people and why didn't things say there were needs for make all then changes than they. Why the original Road Transport Corporation will not have been given the same authority for do all the subsequent work then because first of all, Sierra Leone, the road transport team we talk about, it was not such an elaborate operation. When you look at the fact that road transport was particularly corporation or department, most of the activities were mostly in the western area. Then some of it extended to the districts there, but it wasn't like Kenema district or Pujon district or Kono district get road transport or depot or anything like that. It was all mostly operation from Freetown. So it was not so elaborate that we had to break everything down and create so many overlapping departments. So these are some of the things we did do. So you whether for just absorb political patrons them, this is the patronage system where people and we help you by election, you just want to give them somewhere for go. And when you do that, you create this huge bureaucracy because these people are not serving for free. They have to be paid. And some of them have to be provided staff, depending on the position where they hold. So when you begin to do the overlapping things there, give so much power to one department, then you take that department, you spin them to another department. Then while under the power, you spin them to another department. All that does is just then with the complaint say well, money no day because you forget enough supporting staff for efficiently run the organization or the department as we want them to run. So these are some of the perplexing things then we not seem to understand. So now, Mr. Mengot, I was going to ask him about, because yesterday I watched another activity because there are so many things them on this bus coming in. There are so many questions to be asked. Even though we get the bus system coming in, I think and talk about the $52 million investment of some sort. But $50 million of that $52 million they come from the World Bank as a grant. So which means the World Bank in a $52 million investment, the World Bank will only contribute $2 million. The World Bank, now in the give the rest, then give a grant. The grant mean nothing with the give we not listen to loan, we're not the payback. Okay? So I need to understand somehow, if and when Mr. Mengot is back, follow we ask him, then they talk about bus lanes. Then we'll get designated bus lanes, the lane then where the bus then would ride. So I don't know, have we seen any indication of such lanes being prepared for the buses then that are soon to arrive? And if the buses then get lanes or designated lanes, then will other vehicles be allowed to run in these lanes when the buses are nowhere around, or how is it going to be done? I will hope Mr. Mengot will probably try to explain to we what actually is going to take place. But this is the problem. A lot of times we depend on the international organization then for do everything for do with thinking, for give we, and for those again with the $52 million thing and cost where it could be, of which the World Bank is going to give we the World Bank will give we 50 million. That's almost 100%. That's like 98%. And the 2 million would and so for contribute, they might even write that off. We may not contribute anything. All right. So when would they talk about sovereignty? You remember the last time there were some people where they say, oh, sovereignty, sovereignty. Well, again, we'll go back to the same thing about sovereignty. If we cannot provide buses for ourselves, that they get for GIWI, and underwrite the bill for provide transportation for we people. This $50 million where the World Bank they put on this thing, not to foresee now for ride the bus in America or in England or in Germany or in Australia. It's not for salon. So we say, okay, we're a sovereign nation. Well, if we are such sovereign nation, why not out of $52 million investment, now $2 million no more than say for do, and then they give you that money there. So I'm raising this point only because we get to remember, we want to begin argue about sovereignty, we get to make sure say we're on solid grounds, because we get to wonder, how can we survive? How can we countries survive? If you're not getting international organizations there for help we, or for trying to tell we how to run things, if we so believe say we're a sovereign nation, so if we do it best, we with the talk then here for take a lot of things into account, particularly like this bus system where they come on. So Mr. Mengot, I got a question for you, sir.
I'm back now.
Okay. Okay, I got a question.
Some pertinent questions. So
okay, go ahead. Maybe
you talk first of all about the 50 million. So like come, or you want to say something like how this project starts?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now this project been started in 2017, and the initial focus now for look at the Western region. I talk about Western urban, and for people wait for no Western urban go west is top now a place called Levuma on the peninsula, right? Then now all land in a Western rural around the peninsula. They go number 2 river, you go York, you get Toke, you go Kent, then you can pass Donald, you can Kerita, you can Waterloo, all down in a western. Then at the eastern, that the western part. For the western part of Freedom, the western urban stop around the Ogu Bridge. Then from there now, you continue, go Koya this Kauri, when Songo, when then at the boundary between the former colony and the protectorate. So now that area there, it don't become congested because during the war and after Ebola, most people have moved Canada western urban and west rural area, where estimates say you get about 1.8 million people. Since start first, that's when the World Bank will say, okay, if we have western region with the concentrate, we will give 22 million. So when the new government came to power, President Bio in first meeting World Bank, he talked to the World Bank people and say, well, look, why we not go extend them to the whole of country? If we want to transform public transport, not just look western urban, look the whole country. So now in increasing the project called SLIRUM, which is Sierra Leone Integrated Resilient Urban Mobility Project. If you say them big name here, no mean nothing. But I break them down. Sierra Leone, then at the country. Integrated, which means you get for link transport to other economic and social activity. Resilient, we mean say you get for purpose. Urban mobility, when you talk about urban mobility, you not just look at the one day where where they drive na the road, because you get the passenger them, you get the people where they work on the streets, you also get the one where they drive private car. Limited space there. Na competition. So that now makes our campaign that name it. So World Bank say, okay, we're gonna now call and SLIRUM, we'll give now 50 million. Then a grant, not a loan, so we're not going for pay nothing. But in go put 2 million, which we can call social safeguards. Because when they do and they get for do look the road, because I will come to that, because they talk about their new flyover where they not put the traffic lights, the market where they be station, they all empty, and they so you get for displacement. We know the problem where they are together one of the key routes. We know the problem with them people together in a lonely. So that 2 million them give them training and make sure say there's livelihoods sustainable. The word we can use as development experts, we call them PAPs, project affected persons. So that is how it comes into being. That is how we shape the money. So let's stop here and first and see if you got a question. Then I can't talk now. I think say for start, they'll go talk about how we want to transform, because a transformation they talk. If you get any question, let answer that question, then I'll go to the transformation process, Mr. Shilo.
Well, I think my question go intertwined with the transformation issue. This was, I think, even in the Matilda show of yesterday, I believe, there was this question. They were talking about designated bus lanes. So if you can explain to what that mean, and as to whether these lanes have already been created, or if not, when are they going to be created? Or if not, are they going to do the existing lanes them for the buses? And if not, how are the buses going to operate in relation to other traffic? So something to that effect.
Okay, before we go there, I will talk about the bus lane first. Then I will talk about the regulatory aspect. It go better I talk about the regulatory aspect, because now they have been start where I talk about Road Transport Corporation and Road Transport Authority. We now on Road Safety Authority. So, what would they try for do in the regulation, right? For a start, the government, they were both being get two responsibility. The government being regulate transport under Road Transport Corporation. You hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. Okay. The government being regulate transport under Road Transport Corporation. Then they also regulate transport under this Road Safety Authority now. That's so in name. So what do they try for do now? Because now the two organizations been they regulate public transport, and when they talk about public transport, let me complain to people. We don't get a new system of public transport. When they talk about public transport in a salon, you get two-wheel when a Okada, we come after the war. We get three-wheel, where na tricycle, but we they call them keke because the Nigerian name we get. You get taxi, you get poda from 15 to 35 seater, then you get them big buses then. So now that they would call the public transport. So Road Safety Authority also get regulation for road transport. So what we do, we remove the regulatory aspect in there, like construction and use. Whose kind of bus you for use? So we don't talk about them mental city there when there's still problem. So we decide for we get a new authority when at the Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority, where their own responsibility now for regulate them 5 modes of public transport here. Then all the responsibility will be done under Road Safety Authority go under them. Things like for set fares, for set timetable, passenger manifest, it done under this authority. So we can create a bill to cabinet, then you go to parliament, then the president don't sign them. So we get a road public transport authority, Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority, when they regulate public transport. Now, let's come to the question we ask. So we look at a study, the movement of people in, because mostly you get an east-west movement, like what I've been talking. So you get, now, because of the shifting population pattern, you get a lot of people on the western side, like you get places there where they name themselves. Some of we don't there out now they hear them. Then Kuntolo, Bauma. So you get different places, them population settlement at the hills and all around, and the way they move kind of the center. Then from the western side. Same way we go to the eastern part. From there, Waterloo, Hastings, Jue, and all them places, and then they move. So you get that east-west axis. I think, I don't know if we get somebody then at the line law start there first before I continue. Check, because we want to let this program be.
Okay, we'll check. Hello, callers. First and foremost, wish I had announced earlier, but I'm glad you people are calling. The lines are open, so please feel free to call out or to send in comments. So let me start with the first caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you call from? Hello. Oh, okay. Miss Picture still the block the thing, so I'm not the same. But I know I'm trying for correction now.
No,
Yeah,
you
Mr.
can
Mango,
show
that's
the
your
video now.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'll talk about it now.
So sorry,
Yeah?
we're not going to take a call. We are going to
No,
play
there was
a
no
video.
call. 9 minutes tell me. No, 9 minutes tell nobody get call.
I get that, but I don't think we need to tell the public that. But that's okay. Go ahead.
So what are we doing now? Are you showing the video?
For today press conference, we don't engage with some of the big alleged them, like I can say. For let them come and provide una the people of Salone the answer to the question them we wanna get. So I start with colleague in a cabinet, the Honorable Minister for Transport and Aviation.
I want for just tell una say we really forget a major change in we transport industry. Not too long from now, we will forget about 50 buses. Secondly, the traffic system it will get for change. With the new project where they come on board, we will get for ensure say some of the roads them we go make them roads and be for only bus lanes them, so that them bus then they go get priority. Then also we don't use for the always they pay money to where they go inside the bus or waiting. But now with the new system, we they try for make sure say it be cashless. So I'm happy for informing us say as at March next year, the Ethiopian Airlines will start for flight to Sierra Leone. So that's all I get for now. I hand over to my colleague.
To this point.
Okay, Family, and I waiting the minister say. He talk about the system. He talk about the traffic system for the roads. He talk about cashless system. But before we go there, as I've been continue, let's talk about this side, and because it will deal with the issue of the bus lanes them we didn't talk about. And then I will talk about the 50 buses them. So what in the government been do? They been get the World Bank been put out a tender for a transport management company for car supervise the whole thing. So let's tell you first how they manage the project. The Ministry of Transport been get a special unit where they call the Project Implementation Unit, where they are mostly Sierra Leonean people, engineers, financiers, experts, when then they run this project here. They start for work from 2018 to date. Then they work with the management consultant, where me have been part of that team there as the institutional development expert. So I go able to tell you now more from the side, although now I don't switch sides. Then at the Ministry of Finance, then get what they call the Project Fiduciary or Fiduciary Dependent Management Unit, when then they do all the procurement and then they look after the corporate business. So you get Ministry of Finance, they look after the corporate business. Ministry of Transport, they look at project management. Then they bring experts for help them with an integrated transport plan in UK, of which I was one of the consultants. So that define the routes for now, because now they will know issues about them bus later. So we get this main corridor, we do demand survey, and we reckon say about 50,000 people and then they use that route there on a daily basis. So when you take the western route, it starts from Lumley. If you say Lumley, by that junction, you say you get the Juba Bridge, you get Regent Road, Lumley, you get Atlantic Road. Around that area, then a confluence where beaucoup activities they take place. So now one of the places then they will be get for look at the people them where they trade for see how you go relocate them. Then they build a new bus terminal there by the Atlantic Golf Club and a new market for the people them for clear the area. And you see say they don't put even flyover for people them for cross. So the route from the western corridor, it start from that Lumley day. It come up, it can turn by that roundabout to Lumley Police Station, Wilkinson Road. So Wilkinson Road, as we know, na dual carriageway, because have 2 lanes each side. So now this issue of bus lane coincide, but not to all throughout the day. Now morning and evening peak hour. Morning peak now from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. Evening peak now from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So during that time, the near side lane, when a cab lane, them buses here, now they go get priority. Now 50 buses them, where they take 70 people them. And the buses then are manufactured in India, but Ashok Leyland. So that waiting the minister they talk about, say, will they get special bus lane, you will therefore get road signs and road marking for show you who's time they allow you for use their lane then they. Right? Because you're not able use an all throughout let be bus lane. So when you can Wilkinson Road, that dual carriageway, it can through Congo Cross, Brookfields, Savage Street, Sanders Street, Shaka Stevens Street. Then you get one where they go down Lamina Sanko Street, then for serve them people then where they go hospital. Then you get another one where they go down to Post Office and Bank of Sierra Leone, Kandong Gloucester Street, and go down na Usai, that old bus stop in there. Now they the western route stop. Right. Then the eastern route now they come up from that same place there. It can't through Wilberforce Street, Sani Abacha Street, now makes so being for clear day. It go be public transport only. Then it connects to Kisi Road. So Kisi Road self, peak hour, that lane there will be for buses only. Then from Kisi Road, you go up Gunton Table, Baibure Road, say end na Kalbatong. So again, part of Baibure Road, because it's a dual carriageway, instead go get particular part of the road when are for buses only, peak hours. So during 10 and day, emergency services then could use them. So the bus there where they come are 50 buses. 16 of them buses then they run from that Lumley area there taken at the central bus station because you get less demand. Then 34 of them buses then they run from that central bus station, they go take Calbaton, then at phase 1. Phase 2, we will get more buses them because we need up to 180 buses them. Where the eastern tip of the bus lane, it will go extend, go to Jue. Then the western, it will go number 2 river. Now, then in at the main bus priority corridor, where then 50 buses here they run. But then you get other routes there I will call strategic routes. I will show you now. The strategic routes now, you know, say now from that Jue there, you can go to Waterloo, Kerry Time, if you go clockwise, McDonald, take go join number 2. Then you also get the route where what we call the grafting route, where you can take out from Jue, you go grafting, you come up Regent Gloucester, and in the south Regent Gloucester, the Cannon Hill Station, Wilberforce, you go Lumley. Then the other strategic routes now the hillside bypass, then because Kissy Road go choke, then at the way they come up Blackhall Road, it pass behind Kissy Road Bengron, can bus by prison, Jomo Kenyatta Road. So if you want car Western, you can come on that road there, come on by prison, you go down Pademba Road. Then you go up Jomo Kenyatta. From Jomo Kenyatta, you go Hill Station, Wilberforce, then Lumley. So now the strategic routes done in there. Then I'll come back and talk how the community bus because we'll get one caller now. Now listen to the caller.
Hello, caller. What's your name?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Shilon. This now Omar Pekol.
Okay, Mr. Omar.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah. I don't listen to Una, then I don't listen again to the transport expert. You see, most of the time we get very nice project them, but how they roll out them projects there and then the problem. You see, if they do the same thing every time, they expect to get different result. You need to work. Unless by chroma in time, then come with during that own time is part of time and count almost 100 buses. The buses they all pull, nothing no go through. Then Pakaba in own time again way before Anes by chroma and at the same thing. So waiting at the thing, the expert the most of the time, then the explainer, they explain to the people, but it's not practical. Okay, why I say it's not practical? If the expert know that area the way it calls so. Okay, the Lumley, of course, they will give bus Lindy. But apart from that Lumley, you get Mutka the way they come on that way they come on Brookfields. You get Mutka they come on Water Street. You get Mutka they come on Service Street. All they come meet up na that Sander Street for can't take Sheka Civil Street or Kuto Road. If una not try force for amending small street that we will get na that area there. The small street we did by that Kuto Road area, because Kuto Road in a one street and one main street. But apart of that, the other side of Sander Street, if you not amend the street, then they wanna try to make more roads available to public use. The project they fail. Because you know who say expect na morning if you don't make priority, for instance, for let the public buses that would use Sander Street. Who say expect the other motor car them for pass? Where Brookfields all the street in a pan body they all over the road. So what maybe for us see, what them for us maybe if this project because we talk about yesterday we facing a way na far project. Then get for re-strategize because they talk it in a book but it's not practical. If motor car come up for instance by cycle road, you get for car run up by Entry Street, even 2 Okada don't block Entry Street. In order for even 2 Okada. So how you expect that will be practical? Now the problem is we come with buses, there are a lot of buses that we not get road. What it will be if you say the government for do for now we don't talk yesterday. Let the government try for improve on we roads, lock demolish on pan bodies, extend the roads, even if they not use outside like Martinda say in our residential area yesterday, even if they not use outside for the public, but at least let the general public get chance for use the road then they, and the government boss use the Sanders Street. But if una say una the count bosses that same structure where it did, it need to work. So it's like you go do the same thing every time you expect different result. So what in the party explain so a nice, but not practical. Because that road, we know how many traffic they did in that road in the morning for come meet up na Sheka Stephen Street. So if you say that traffic, for instance, even when the president take inside, when the traffic don't stand still, after the president don't pass, it take almost 3 to 4 hours before ever they will clear that traffic. So let me say now, if in a public transport you get, you know the work. So waiting them for let them improve on the roads and first before ever, if they call them boss, let them park them boss and for the improve on the road. Otherwise, we go for Poil and boss today. We'll see that again. They wait for another grant to give for other bosses. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. One thing I will say, this project now makes all the do in phases, and very soon I'm not going to preempt waiting governments. As I say, I'm not going to preempt waiting government get for do. We don't do a traffic management plan. Where that traffic management plan will get area they will control parking zone them, and
Mr.
certain
Menga,
side and they will.
May I interrupt you, sir? Let me just take one more call so you can just get all your analysis
Okay,
in
no
one.
problem. Let's get the caller.
Okay. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from?
Yeah, I call from London. I call from London.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, a very, very good program on they try for bring about the development of the country and the road system in Sierra Leone. The last column when they talk about the practicality of the consultants we then do concerning the road system is fine. But me own take about this whole situation are the fact that they get to do more supervision on the maintenance of the road. It's very, very important. The structures of the road in our country, it needs to be looked into very critically, because we find out that some of the roads where you recall through, it's not meant for like maybe with transport system, like we taxi them Okada there and then bike them. And they're not making provision for them small transport they will get at the side, because this type of bus system where we professor they described to Wisu, it's very, very, very in place. But the problem when they see what they foresee in this is that we not go get substations them, we go to send signals. Although you say they make one alumni, but we need some substations there wherein a signal will be they will expedite signals ahead for the next bus. Because we people in a salon, number one, we not get education. We not get no education about this type of transport system. And so, number two, we get a problem of light and communication problem in that country. So if this system get for come in place, we get for go back and look at the roadmap where go make a transport system in the country become better. And we get for look into it thoroughly, because we not go take England system and create a salon. Sierra Leone is difficult for the structure. It takes people the way go for Sidom. And look, the contracts where they just go sign. What they say the people they not fit for run the railway. It's a very big disgrace. So because why? We not do we preliminary, work properly, as Mr. Shilon will say. People incompetent, we took Bakuna Salon. We go make things fine. Now the paper. But at the end of the day, let them come bring and come to practice. Lock and put them into, lock and implement, we they fail. This now don't cause problem at the nation of Sierra Leone. So do ya at the advice, let we go and get a proper ground supervision again. So that we go get things right, at least for once. Let me forget for the railway, because I get no reservation about the railway. Like if you see England today, you go see that before they bring railway, the road transport, when are they bus them and anything, and they get training training personnel there, then get supervisors them. They get so many people who go do the groundwork. And even when the bus when they run, they get people the way they put like warding officer, where they go to check how the bus run, which minutes will it take, and this, So all these things for them in place. We don't know how many minutes one bus will come out Wembley to Garrison Street. We don't know all the things, and then we get for make up. Why? For help the time and traffic. What are the time duration? Because we need for grow up. We need for go back and na the drawing board. Let me see how we go to support we country network. But the foundation, I don't think say it's stable. We will begin the system. Me on take that, Mr. Shillong. Thank you very much. Now good thing they bring, but on a will look come back keenly. Let's go back to the paper. Let's this it go be actualized. If it go be practicable at the end, because follow begin something, then we're not able. Then they say, oh, they don't pull the boat system at the line, and they work again, the boss, and they work again because of this, because of that. That will be the problem at the end. I am telling you, mark my word. It will be all those bosses, if we don't do the proper preliminary foundation, we don't make the foundation structural well, then they're not going to last in that country. They're not going to last. Because the foundation for be very thorough. Thank you very much, Mr. Shillong.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your call, as always. Let me go to the next caller. Hello, caller. Which name is you call from? Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening again. This is Nafudi Mustafa from Leicester, sir.
Mr. Mustafa, thanks for calling. Thanks for listening.
Thank you again for the program. Well, we don't talk about. Let me just touch first on the rail. We don't talk about this rail. I think about 2 weeks ago. You see the level of incompetence, and it don't lead to a desperate country. We don't talk about the destination, whose side the rail they lead to. I mean, you can see effect for them for a rail with the common affair to Pepel. I don't know if the people the way one can do business, they don't check the passenger routes. Almost passenger in the Comoda side for go Pepel, which did not Pepel actually. Because if they have done this homework, they're not going to defect over that route. The most important thing way for don't happen, way for don't get beat is an expansion of the rail network. Because any rail we're not gonna fit all as I said the last time. We're not come on McKinney or Koedu or Bo or Kennyman for go Freetown, nothing. And then we could see a whole government and then effect over this thing. We say, I don't understand, a grand project we don't come. I don't know, but when I update with me, I know about any expansion of the project. But where then they talk about just here say the one can put the rail coaches there for come out Ferengbaya for go to Napepel. And all of a sudden there's this big fight over that. Anyway, I'll leave Randy for a while. So I can't get into them boss there. Every time from the I don't know saloon, we don't go take Tata boss, we don't go take Chinese boss, we always go take bosses there. We not get part and maintenance at the country. You see, wait man, they count something at the country. Now what did they count for us now? The technology. The technology now they count for us, and the one they can't repair anything in the for making them do on the ground. The last boss, they will go buy the 50 boss there from China. They don't even last for 1 year. Because go take boss there from China, I can't put the nobody knows how to be them boss then. Not to buy the boss them matter. But now for take care of those bosses. This now just another show. They got 50 bosses, then go make a launching, then launch them boss, then begin to break down one after the other. We don't even know which kind of type boss they come. And if seven come, they know how the technology where they come for maintenance them boss then they. You see the problem? We always do the same thing with the lost money. We go buy back, we can't lose money. For make no more than launch, they say the president don't launch. That's all. They don't maintain them. Nobody knows they for monitor. Whatever they do with them boss, then nobody knows. So now I think this is why they focus on first. First let them focus on say the boss the way they can at the country. Then conducive for run at the country, and we get the engineering, the department where they take care of those bosses in case of any breakdown. Therefore, they on the ground forever. Not to say they can't more like you see the Chinese the last time they come for 3 months and then turn back. But the boss they knew they're not gonna boil it after 3 months. They're not gonna boil it. But after 1 year, after 2 years, they begin to break down. Then they need repairs. So you see, Salon as Mr. Umar talk, we get for to do different things them for make we get another result. Not to the same thing no more continue for they do. The country just did desperate. We see small thing, we all begin to dance. What now 50 bosses? For the start it's good. But at the end of the day, if they don't maintain them, then I just money back don't go waste. And then the same people and they hospital not get water, hospital not get electricity, then we don't go waste money. You see the thing? So now let me want to touch on this this evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me see if I can take one more call. Then we'll go comment. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where's you call from? Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Go ahead.
It's coming, but Abdul.
Oh, Abdul, welcome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the topic. I get a submission from me. Then perhaps I'll ask some questions. So now
Go ahead.
I will start with Arise program because I listened to the news conference with the three ministers, 3 of them, or 4 ministers, them all, on Friday or Saturday, concerning the project. When the minister they explained to they signed the project January at Arise now 2 subsidiaries. Then according to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the project, it's an open, I want you, Mr. Sulon, to go light on that. It's an open contract. That is, there is agreement between the 2 parties and that if one party not fulfill what it's supposed to fulfill, it can break the contract. They say, they give example, say, similar thing happened with the Lunge Bridge, that one French company or so, they get an open contract with them. Then, because one of them not fulfill what they're supposed to fulfill, then break the contract, we lead to any litigation. So Arise as well, then we give them up to the 9th of July, when the Arise not fulfill what they're supposed to fulfill. But there is so much conundrum and confusion in waiting they all explain. That therefore the project, the project council, and now that gives them the urge for signer with Kingo, where them the originally don't sign 2 years for then they suspend them, they don't carry sign out. Yes. But there are so many questions to be answered, especially by the Minister of Mines, because by then he was the Director of Mines and he are the expert. And some of the sarcastic statements that he make that the plane them go carry on na pantab table. Then he make mention say not a standard gauge. Waiting the railway line where they use so now, I think about 3 feet. We not to the standard gauge, and perhaps the train where they buy so na standard gauge. So you don't go able for 50, and they not get the expertise. I want to throw light on the contract aspects of them by breaking the contract abruptly. Waiting go mean for government. Then we come to the bosses. Mr. Mengos, I want to throw light on this. I hear you mentioned, you said the 50 bosses. Then this one is for a start. But I know you call Kutowood, the Western, which I know you call Kutowood to Kingston Bridge. We don't get anyone where they go there for this first phase that are all they go down, they use that route there, or you go down Congo Tong for go. We don't get none on a plan we wanna get. Or the 50 buses, is it going to are they going to distribute it all in all the routes where you mentioned? So on a for that from Lomeli to Calabar no more route now no more. You know you go region that grafting route. I want you to light on that again. So now that's the question down there again for I will stop so far. No, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Abdul, well, Mr. Mengot go answer that question there because he is more acquainted and most probably was part of the planners for the various routes or routes them away with the chalkboard. I am in agreement with you with respect to the questions then because, in fact, another caller before you talk about Sanders Street, because in the old days, well, first of all, let me just backtrack. I think if we begin to see, I agree about the skepticism being expressed by a lot of people about the unlikelihood that this will work this time because we keep planning on the same basis. And so, but there are some differences based upon the little knowledge we may get. The last bus system now work. To start with, the quality of buses that we bought. They were not necessarily brand new buses. They were used buses that were not in the best of conditions, to my understanding. Number one. Number two, those buses were smaller in capacity or in size. They take less people, and I stand to be corrected. And so, even the actual purchasing of them buses, then they were not made with the intention of 1 second. They were not made with the intention of actually thinking about the longevity of the lives of the bus then. I think this was just like, we know what happened. So the comparison that we make, it all has to do with the sincerity or lack of sincerity and seriousness on the part of the government officials then who negotiate their contract in there. And the reason why I'm saying all of this, we got to go back in time. I take the position that if when there were fewer roads in Freetown, and when roads were not as safe as they are now in Freetown, although we are taking into account the congestion of the city after the war and the present, the white people will be the runway, because we cannot lose sight of the fact that everything that was being done in our country, particularly in Freetown, I was very well thought out by the whites because they were running that place there because that's where they lived mostly, at the hill station, up the hills and everything. So they made a run them for make their own life comfortable too, even though they're not the right public buses. But you can see the dedication on their part for being able to move people in from point to point. Now, when I was growing up, we know say the bus system was, Pademba Road was a major street. We know say Cambo Street was a major street. We know say Savage Street was a major street. And all the way to Congo Cross and beyond. I'm saying all of this because there is nothing the mind cannot solve if we are really serious, if we want to let things work. I am not so convinced. Maybe with the present setup, it may not work, but I don't think say we lack the capacity or the intellectual know-how for make very good plans, for get bosses them for work efficiently in the system. You know, there are many, many things we can do for make the system work because we cannot. Somebody asked the question, how come all the time things seem to be impossible? When are things going to start looking possible for we? Well, this is not a major complicated thing because if we put, like I can always say, the best minds to work, we stop then deal upon deal upon deal. We hire the right people. I'm talking about Sierra Leoneans mostly, who are very well equipped and well knowledgeable. Because there are people who specialize in population control. There are people who specialize in restructuring cities, which include roads, you know, and residences and other things. So there are town planners, people whose specialty is for just reorganized towns, cities. But if we want for reorganize Freetown. We'll go take a lawyer. We'll go take a doctor. We'll go take some other unqualified person for that kind of a work day and put them in a committee. So we'll never be surprised for get result unworkable outcome. When we begin for hire the right people with expertise in what you want to accomplish, we'll go see the result. You know go sick, then take you go hospital, then tell you say one of the porter get for attend to you. Well, the porter might know enough because he don't take around the hospital, maybe for get injection, maybe for give you some medicine, say, well, you go home, go drink this. Even me say, we're not to doctor. If you tell me, say, you get fever, I might prescribe something for you by word of mouth and just simply say, oh, go take Tylenol. Okay? But that in no way qualifies me for make prescription for a hospital because I tell somebody that. But what would they do? And we not to see that. We continue to do that. All them people here, then they into this same thing. The appointments they want to make, it would get a result here, not because Naimeka suggests at the beginning of this show, for say, I will have love for Mr. Mengot. Yeah, I know he's engaged in the planning, but this left with the ministers then and the bureaucracy, yes. What Omar says and other people then, it might result the same way. Things might not work because people don't seem to get into anything here for really produce good outcome. It seems like it's just a job to people. Now, somebody even called where I will say inner support railroad because I think what I gather from what you say now about how efficient will they be able to run it? Well, we cannot liken the failure of the bus system, and then we'll go back. There was Road Transport Corporation, where they operate the bus system very well. They were not only operating it, now Freetown at the western area, they had another hangar, now Bo had the same Road Transport Corporation that was running bus system, Bo. The same Road Transport Corporation was running the bus system from Freetown to Kenema, to Kono. Things were being done right. What happens here is that instead of we improve the system for political expediency or for whatever, I don't even know that expediency, but then begin for put too many people in positions them where they're not qualified for day. Now that they happen in our countries. That's where lies the problem. The problem, the ideas are great, like how Mr. Mangum they express them. These are great ideas. The difference with Mr. Mengot, is that he not only know what they talk about. This is a man with practical experience. We're given the chance, he can make things work. Okay? But if he's going to be overruled by ministers and permanent secretaries and other people and some boards, of governors, we not get no expertise in NTR, it will never work because I don't get the authority. Okay? This is what in the hurt to country. If we begin to create committees of any kind with competent, qualified people, and when I mean qualified, we're not talking about if you get PhD or master's degree. They're not a qualification for everything. There is a reason why we go college above bachelor's degree, well, particularly in the American setting. Above bachelor's degree, you get your master's in something specific. We'll give you some degree of expertise. Okay? That the universities do not give you masters in generality. No. So, but when we want to appoint people then, we once upon a time, not too long ago, get a geologist on this show. What would they talk about water system? What they talk about, we get one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest rainfall in West Africa. Why don't we have strategic water reserve? Why is Sierra Leone short of water sometimes? Why are we even selling water at the rate we would sell them? Where we get the heaviest rainfall? will not come up with no expertise in how for safe water, just like how they do fuel. You know, this person said some of the committees they were then set for the day, almost 100% have no expertise in anything, and they're not consulting or asking the opinion of geologists them or people and will get specialization for make what we will know how for reserve water during the dry season, how for preserve waste, how prevent waste, and how for preserve what you will get. This geologists say it we're not talking about this government. It seems government after government after government doesn't seem to care. So to me, this is not my own position. When we begin for well, like our President Obama once described insanity, when that Umar say, insanity now where you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. You see, I used the expression the last time. I am not convinced that we're that ignorant, because we have too many book-educated people where we cannot be as ignorant as the outcome of events them or things them or activities them would participate in to be. It's just that people are selfish. It's just that people don't seem to care. It's because we are not employing qualified people and for the right position. And until we do that, the boss system, what they talk about, so might fail. It might fail. Not because the expertise is lacking, it's because would have for run the show, and care for take orders from somebody where don't know anything, because this is how they run the country. And we keep saying this has nothing to do with politics. Look at the situation. You get a minister of local government, get a supervisory authority over a mayor who was elected, a mayor who has a council, you know? So nothing good can come out of that. And the minister of local government may not even have a degree in government, and that's an area you can get a degree in, university degree. And so it's not like the minister get any expertise in that, but he get the authority for overrule someone who's been elected by the people. So if we continue for run things that one day in a narrow-minded way, why will we expect any good outcome of all in here? And we'll ever realize, never in the history of Sierra Leone have we had so many PhDs, master's degree, all kind of degrees. And yet, in the history of a country, this is one would produce the least. You know, every industry that we've had, almost every industry that we've had in the past 30 years, these industries have not lasted long before they go under. So if we talk about long term, we try for employ youth and provide jobs for graduates them. Look, I just read Sierra Leone graduated 324 lawyers just recently. 324. This is not a country that has a commercial or economic system who will absorb that many lawyers. And I'm a lawyer. What if it's not a country like this? What constructive role will all these lawyers play in the country? I see very little. Now, how are these lawyers, because they get for compete for survival, so how are they going to be able to work towards setting up ethical standards and improving the legal system? One would Australian, they produce 350 licensed lawyers a year, a country like Sierra Leone. We'll not get big law firms. We'll not get industries, you know, we'll go hire them. The government get very limited capacity. You know, prosecutorial system is very inefficient. So, but then with the now what we need a lot of are doctors, are engineers, people with scientific background, not lawyers. What I mean, very little lawyers can contribute to Sierra Leone as it is today, you know. So everything is just backwards now in that country there. But we expect Sierra Leone to be, very efficient, you know. More and more for the sea now. Even look how with the draft we lost them. Draftmanship is getting poorer and poorer. Well, we can brag all we want, say we do the best we can, but I don't think we're doing the best we can. We're really hurting the country because we're not to plan the country in such a way as for the country to be productive. So with 324 lawyers in 1 year, okay, so we'll keep producing that many lawyers. It doesn't take a genius. With the economy being as it is, closed, everything going to just a handful of people, okay, so it won't be long before even lawyers begin for cry the blues. And why so many lawyers? Well, the legal profession has always been a distinguished profession. That's why people are gravitating to the profession. But we therefore agree for say, one other reason why people are gravitating to the profession is that it's not as demanding as that of engineering, as that of medicine, as that of many other things. We therefore accept that. So, but we'll see what happens. But nobody's looking out for the country. That's my position. I'm sorry to say, people have a right to disagree. But until we stop this practice of just appointing people to positions without them being qualified, it's going to keep, we'll just be spinning our wheels. We're not to make one movement forward. That's all I have to say. For we listeners then, it appears that Mr. Mengot has been having technical difficulty, I'm sorry to say, because the bus system and the road transport system that he should have been the best person for explaining to we, particularly in a part of the planners. So not only he know about them, but I help for plan the system as to how the buses will be operated. We're hoping that it will be able to explain to we. And there are some good questions that have been raised by Omar and the gentleman from Maryland about some of the streets then where the buses then for the pass. So only Mr. Mengot will have been able to answer that. And then what about some of the other areas, them like Regent, you know, and maybe York? Are the buses going to be going all the way there? Because in the colonial days, even up to the end of the 1960s and in the 70s, buses were going to all the area. And the buses may go Regent, they may go Gloucester, and they go Leicester, you know. So we want to know if the buses are not reach there, so how are the people going to be served? But I cannot answer that question. Unfortunately, with listeners, then Mr. Mengot will have been the qualified person. But as I said, he's having technical difficulty. So maybe part of that aspect of the show will be answered the next time around. Yeah, so I'm so sorry that we are not going to be able to address that issue there, because I personally have no idea as to the short-term or long-term planning of the bus routing. So with that, unless we have more callers or other callers, I think that brings us to the end of the show. Unless there are some callers. Okay, let me take one or two calls. Hello, caller. What's your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, Mr.
Sure.
Shilon, yeah, this is Abdul again, because from Maryland.
Yeah, Abdul. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you again. You don't feel for you again concerning the Arise IIP project. You don't feel say Parliament for subpoena the ministers them concerned, the Minister of Attorney General, Minister of Justice, the Minister of Mines, who was then Director of Mines, leader advise the minister for let them go because they don't put the country in a funny position. Supposing Arise file a lawsuit against government now for breach of contract, either at the International Court of Arbitration or even the court in Sierra Leone. You not feel to say that for subpoena them or let them go answer because it is still murky the deal where they sign with Arise, where you will give a contract 6 January then this time because we always you will be covered with the president they go turn the sword for the project day where it may be a fanfare because it was leading to the election. You know, people say for subpoena them Parliament. Then the other thing I want to suggest concerning the graduates, where you say they are turning in out. In fact, because at the 3 universities then they produce lawyers now. Jala said they produce. Jala said that in law department.
Well, isn't that ridiculous?
And by Kumar, the University of Martini get law department, the University of Martini, Unima. So that all they produce that number day when job law day. So now let's find out about 75% of them, perhaps 60 to 75% of them, they always able towards politics because when they go give pro bono to them big parties here, when the party win, then they expect to forget political appointment from them. But again, I blame the government because everywhere in the world, we not say the science, the STEM areas, they are the more marketable areas. I blame the government because government, if they provide incentives, say for those who are doing STEM from one of the university, like the girls STEM, I believe the government for provide ready employment for them immediately after they left university. Because the person, let's say the person goes study marine biology and go study mechanical or mechanical engineering, or you go study electrical engineering. If you ready job market before when the pikin you don't offer a scholarship, then the pikin go able. Then if you are not able to absorb them, even at the public sector, the schools they need them. Because the place for attract them, let them go. So that don't tell them say all the graduates who they qualify when government gives scholarship, when I sign a bond with them. Because I people say that them they do formally in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even to the 80s. They sign a bond. So you get to work for government for 3 years or 5 years as part of the agreement. So if government is able to absorb them, now the various departments, like the school system needs them. Say, okay, now you Abdul Mansari, you come out Cambia, with the Senegal Cambia. It go easy for you the school day the way that you look because you don't do physics, you don't do math, you don't do biology, so on and so forth. Then you come out to the school system that put down, then one school there will locate you there because you don't go for donor freedom because when now will go easy for them to leave there, they pay you. So immediately government starts to pay them the very September when the people and the work. I think government has get the role for play in that. Now that's what I think for that call. Thank you.
Abdul, I will accept. I'll get more callers then, but I think what you comment is deserving of some response. I will accept what you say so. This is not pure abdication by government. They not get no long-term projection. They not get no vision in terms of how for absorb people them after they don't get an education, how for absorb them into the system. Because like you say, if the government, what you just suggested, if ideas like that can be put into the mix, then one good idea. then somebody else might get an even good idea like that, or even better. Then if we get constructive ideas put together, we'll be able to absorb some of them people here. But to me, I call it, look at the ridiculousness of this. Sierra Leone has no business having 3 law schools. We just cannot. To me, it's very cruel and selfish of leaders them. For even do that, it does take lack of, I don't know, seriousness or foresight. I mean, first of all, the government get the authority for limits the faculties them of various universities. So you could allow one university to operate, and you say, but when I cannot get this department, when I cannot forget medical school here, we're not going to be able to produce obtain or sustain as many doctors. So therefore, this school that produces number, so we only get one more school or one more university. I use the word school in the place of university. So the same thing with lawyer. I mean, our common sense. The country cannot absorb 3 law schools them around the country. Jala had no business having a law school. Okay? Maybe I don't even think the other side should have had a law school. I think the law school in Freetown should have had an extension upline, whether in Abo or somewhere. The same law school, just an auxiliary campus, But you see, to me, they don't care. You bring all these guys out here, like you say, that's another thing you say. Now, these young people not get any opportunity but for just go try for be politicians. But so because then they get for go give pro bono services to some of them political party there, then in return, when the party can have power for begin giving them positions, deputy minister of this, deputy minister of working, deputy minister of clapping, deputy minister of this, ridiculous things them, because with government that and really not get the love at heart. That's all I get for say. But some of the things that we suggest, I'm in agreement with you. Now let me go to the line. Hello, caller. What's your name? What's the call from?
Yes, Mr. Shilon, yes. Again, I want to tell you thank you and the program Voice of Salon. Then I call from London, yeah? I call from London. First of all, I'm sorry. I call from London.
No problem, no problem. You are
Peter. I want to just talk on the things that you don't mention again. Mr. Shilon, we country in a salon is so compounded, it's really, 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 really in-depth where we get for understand how we can unfold them. I want to ask you, Mr. Shilon, if there get any program in a salon where they do checks and balances of qualified professionals them, we will know how many doctors them, then they in the public sector where they work. Of course, I know say they get the leave, the government get the leave, and how many lawyers, how many engineers, and then we see the offices them where available, where them people there they occupy. Then we keep on recruiting more lawyers, and we don't know what's they occupy just as soon as they talk. And we get geologists them. In fact, there is no offices, at least places for let them work, but we still get them. And university they recruit more. I don't know if they take inventory properly. Because the country now we almost now 8 million people, where we need for really organize that country that they talk about expertise. That's so much important. And also this transport sector, where they bring one column call say we need to get expertise them, where they put in at the ground. But may I suggest that if we don't get a foundation wherein with the train people them way now like technical vocational institute. I remember one program where we talk about we lack human resource management. And with human resource, now they get the problem now that country did. If we will not try again and look at the human resource, how they manage, all various sectors and people that they recruit into various public offices, this problem is a repeat itself again and again. So now I just want to say that we need for trial we look at that aspect of how many people that would recruit, in different field of studies, discipline of studies, so that the country too small. If there is no office for bring down somebody. You don't need to recruit somebody for let begin work. But if the offices are there and we know jobs are available, then we can bring in qualified professionals into that job. Because if like for example, how many lawyers that they don't recruit now? Now they don't go to the law practice. And then for just go thief, for just go fair ways, how they lie and make cases because of political influence. But there is nothing there for them. Or go open your small law firm. They say, no worry, I go talk. I know the judge, I know the attorney general, I go pass the case, I will add so many fraud. Education at Salone now a fraud. As you may say, since the independence, we don't get PhDs, double masters. We don't get people the way don't landed people. But why the country is still there on crunching on its knees? Because we are very poor in managing our human resources. So I want to make we help this nation. If we bring them bosses there, let we train local technical people. Thank you, Mr. Shillong. Let we train that. Thank you very much. That's number one.
Thank you very much. We'll get some more callers, but I don't know how much Mr. Mengot making if he gets something for say before we check the other calls. Then you are muted. You are muted. You are muted. Okay. You are muted, Mr. Mengot. We can't hear you. No, we can't. Okay, in the meantime, let me see. Do we have any more callers on the line? Okay, hello, caller. What's your name? What's the call from? I hope the control room will work with Mr. Mengot. Hello, caller.
This is Omaru, the call again.
Hey, Mr. Omaru, thanks for calling again.
Okay. The last caller we called just now mentioned something we make a decide for call back. Yeah.
Okay.
Now the last caller talk something just now we make a decide for call again. You see,
Okay.
Mr. Shillong, if now one law school will get in that country, people go prefer for sit down 5-6 years wait until they get requirement for it. Because
Go ahead.
we
Go ahead.
system don't show say everybody forget degree. If you don't get degree, you're not in that country. So now this is not the problem. We know that there's a fair with education well. Yeah, for instance, not to everybody say Papa Pasi go be lawyer. Not to everybody go say Papa Pasi be doctor. The time when this government they in the campaign mood, then talk about apprenticeship scheme. And up to today, now 6 years in the can't take on our power, we not see them. We get rules and people they make rules say everything that how many students the way they go land construction, road constructing work. We get a very big Sierra Leone way it get construction company. A part of the laborers the way it gets. How many students it get the way now construction student with land construction? Because now the apple them part yeah, now the company then get school where the vocation, but the company now then they take the apprenticeship. So until we try for diversify, we educational system in that country, now the same problem we get. We left this. We not say degree not fail, but not all man forget degree. Not all man destiny forget degree. We got a lot of other things there. We get for instance, carpentry. Where me said on the project, maybe I don't know. I know just voice them out, but we get carpentry, we get messina, we get other things that you did learn. We still earn money like any lawyer in that country, provided if the platform is there. So let government come to let them try for tell people and say, hey, look, not only for lawyer, for only be lawyer or for only be doctor before you're successful in life. We get a lot of other professions. But in that country they see somebody they bill for you. Believe in me, Mr. Shillong. Or me? Okay. So like in that country, they see somebody they bill us, Mr. Shillong. You go don't give somebody plan for let bill us for you. You go left again now you go to call again, they ask her or you tell her I for do them. Because why all man up and guest, all man are guest. We get people to work, but yes, forget the skill now one thing. Forget the training, professional training, all that thing. So let the government try for at least let them try for encourage people and let them go now them vocational schools are and learn something. Provided if the government self make the vocational schools available to the people, you know. Try them they talk and well, but when I'm in campaign mode from where they get power now, when they report again, they talk about apprenticeship, they talk about boku thing, and most of them way they understood they know say apprenticeship very value and they don't can now, they don't see how it improve now. I don't know say not to lawyer they construct road now, not to lawyer they build house now, or not to for say now lawyer they go roof house now, you know. So the government get a lot of things for do. Let them know say not to always be doctor or be lawyer is successful in life. There are a lot of other professions there where not get anything for do degree. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Mr. Mengot, you're still muted. You're still muted. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Control room, please let Mr. Mengot know that. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's where you call from? Hello, caller. Hello. Okay, okay. Okay. You see, we still can't hear him. Okay. Am I still on the air so I can close? Okay. Gentlemen, I apologize to the audience because you know how Mr. Mengot in knowledge and expertise in the area of transportation and government, and is so well equipped with every day we all the learn from and when he come on board. Unfortunately, we get connectivity problem, connectivity problem today, so we have lost the opportunity of learning something new from him. So I will hope next week things will be better placed, and so what enable talk about this time, he will be able to talk about that the next go around. So until then, I thank you very much for listening. I mean, there is a whole lot that can be said, but we don't pass the time, the 2-hour time limit we were supposed for go. So I just want to thank everybody for listening, and hope that we all could be alive and well next Sunday again, same time. And again, let me also apologize. We started a little late today because there was a difference in time with Mr. Mengot also, because in England where he lives, then time don't change, then time go backwards. So there was some difference between Naya. So that also caused a little delay. But that said, thank you very much, everybody. Until next week, I say goodbye to everybody. Thanks.